at least there is going to be a discussion, or the Trump is going to have to answer the questions related to Mueller, right? Mueller investigation wants to talk to Trump now, right?
That's the last point. They investigated 1 year, they couldn't find anything. Now they are trying to find some words that he's going to say in the interview.
No,
he may not go for the interview. That's what I hope.
Yeah, but
not.
Why do you say that?
Because he has this problem of talking erratically. So we don't want to get him into trouble.
So his fear is, to some extent, his fear is right.
No. You're not. We don't want him to get into trouble.
So
we need
he's
him
not confident.
Next 8 years, we need him.
See, that is the problem. That is the problem. See, when you said that you don't want your leader to be going in front of and talking, because you feel like he will say something that will implicate it.
I understand. Sometimes you have this kind of people, but they are very big on results. They bring results. You have these kind of employees sometimes, but they bring results.
True.
So you cannot have too much of sophistication and no results, like Obama. I like this president who is not sophisticated, who is a common man, who talks regular people's language, but bring a lot of results.
No.
ISIS is gone. Nobody talks about ISIS anymore.
No. Results for who? Results for who? Right.
For the country.
No. What is? See, the dream that is slipping right now is the country that where you and I came here, right? You have a dream. You come over here. You work hard and you make a living. Mm-hmm. That's what the foundation of this is.
That is getting better.
For some
I really see that is getting better for everybody. Everybody comes to this country for economic opportunity first.
Okay.
Everything else, people talk like freedom of expression, this and that. That is secondary. Mm-hmm. People leave their home countries to come to America for economic reasons.
Better lives.
It was not getting better, but under President Trump, it is getting better. Look at the stock market. Look at the unemployment. Look at the bonuses you're getting. Look at the tax return you're going to get next year. I'm
getting better.
The dream is getting bigger.
No, see, I am saying that I'm an independent, right? I'm not a completely Democrat, so I don't buy into both Republican side or the Democrat side. But if you look at it, Obama, the counter argument is that Obama took the country out of a recession. There was a recession happening, mm-hmm. and Obama policy was to have the Affordable Care Act, right? Where basic right for everybody to have fundamental medical care given, right?
So you can have rights, but not at the cost of
so I don't completely agree with that, but still, right? So you cannot say that the country was going down the dogs in the case of Obama, and when Trump came, everything magically became great again, right? So
I didn't say that. See, Obama's policies were primarily to take care of the poor, the downtrodden, the illegal immigrants and all of that. See, that is the communist policies of, back you see in India. That's not what we want. We want a balanced approach. Of course, you have to really own up the businesses. You have to really have enough support for the business community. If you don't have it, businesses will stop doing business. They will take your business somewhere else. So President Trump came. He energized the business, people. That is why the stock market started going up like crazy.
Let me interrupt you. I'm sorry, but let me ask you: do you agree with the tax cut reforms?
I do. Okay. Tax cut is obviously beneficial because it caters to the small business community, like Vincent was saying, and the trickle down economics may not work for everybody, but it works for business guys like us. Good percentage of the people.
I got it. Let me ask you now.
Sure.
Vincent, what do you think about the immigration, DACA? Do you agree?
See, DACA, to begin with, people have to understand this. Mm-hmm. DACA was not a law passed by US Congress. Mm-hmm. DACA was an executive order by President Obama, which is not the right way to bring in laws. Mm-hmm. Executive order is a bad thing. That means he doesn't have the support of the Congress. That's why he has to write up something which is only going to be valid until his presidency is over. That is called executive order. So DACA is an executive... No, Trump said, I am going to stop DACA when it came to his table for renewal. He said, I'm going to stop it, but I am giving you 6 months to pass a law to take care of DACA people.
Yeah, but that is, see, if you look at from the Democrat standpoint, right, they do agree that, and Republicans also agree that DACA has to be taken, people have to be taken care of, right? But that is not where the problem, it is being used as a bargaining chip, right? So between those two parties,
sorry,
right?
Let me tell you this. When you say it's a bargaining chip, people bringing illegal immigrants bringing babies born outside of the country to this country is not a good thing.
That is not true.
It is illegal. Okay, so illegals came because of no border. So first we had to protect the border before giving them the stuff. So now Trump is actually being nice. Okay, we can do this together. If I am the president, I would say that close the border first before talking any dark.
So let me respond to that before. So there are 2 points that you made, but the illegals are crossing the border, right? If you look at statistics, the percentage of people crossing the border has gone down from 2016 to 2017. Now that's one thing. The second thing is number of people crossing overstaying their visa is significant. Like 4.56 million around people are overstaying their visa. So that is comparable to the border crossing. So shutting down the border or building a wall is not going to solve the problem. As long as there are ladders and people can do tunnels, this is going to...
That is one way. I mean, definitely barriers, stop. Right now, women are walking. School children are walking from Mexico with school bags, just walking into the border. So it will be stopped by the border wall, whatever the
Do you know how many people are crossing the border? It's around 70,000. Last time, 2016, around 70,000 people were caught at the border.
Came down after Trump won. 67%.
मुझे
just by the messaging.
ब्रेक लेनी पड़ेगी. It is a very good discussion. I know that के बहुत सारे इश्यूज हैं. अभी जो चेन की बात कर रहे हैं कि इमिग्रेशन चेन जो है उसको बंद करना है और जो लॉटरी सिस्टम है उनको बंद करना है. ट्रेड के बारे में बहुत सारी बातें हैं जो इफेक्ट करेंगी. पेरिस अकॉर्ड के बाद अभी ब्रेक के बाद हम इन पे बात करेंगे. बट अभी एक छोटी सी ब्रेक लेने हैं. बहुत सोहनी गलबात साडी इन्हां विद्वानां दे नाल चल रही है. मसला हैगा है कि इस वेले ना सिर्फ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ ਭਵਿੱਖ ਕੀ ਹੈ. ਕਾਰਨ ਇਹ ਕਿ ਅਮਰੀਕਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਵੀ ਨੇ, ਮੈਕਸੀਕੋ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟੈਕਸ ਰਿਫਾਰਮਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਗਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ. ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੇਅਰ ਬਿੱਲ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਵੱਡਾ ਹਊਆ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ. ਆਉਂਦੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਜਾਣੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਕਾਲਰਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. ਇਸ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਹੁਣੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਪਰਤ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ.
इसे तो अब मेरी मदद करनी चाहिए.
अब्बा, मुझे आपकी दुकान में बिल्कुल भी इंटरेस्ट नहीं है.
अरे मेरे अब्बा भी उसी दुकान में बैठते थे और उनके अब्बा भी.
दरअसल वो कुछ नया करना चाहता है तो करने दीजिए ना.
अब्बा, अल्पसंख्यक कार्य मंत्रालय की एक स्कीम है सीखो और कमाओ. उसमें सरकार कौशल विकास के साथ रोजगार के अवसर भी दिलाती है. और वो जो जॉर्ज अंकल है ना, उन्होंने भी सरकार से मदद ली, मेहनत की और देखो ना वो अभी कितने कामयाब हैं.
सीखो और कमाओ के द्वारा आज लाखों अल्पसंख्यक युवा स्किल डेवलपमेंट के साथ साथ रोजगार से भी जुड़ चुके हैं. आप भी इस योजना का आज ही फायदा उठाइए.
The world. Honda WRV.
20 minutes to the toss पर विराट है कहाँ?
आ जाओ सर जी, वाल्वोलिन रेसिंग ऑयल है.
Change to Valvoline. Be unstoppable.
प्रकृति जैसी शुद्धता हमारी पहचान. MDH मसाले, the real spice of India.
ਸੁਖਜਿੰਦਰ ਸ਼ਿੰਦਾ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪਸੰਦ ਹੈ? ਸਾਡਾ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ੌਂਕ ਗਾਉਣ ਤੇ ਵਜਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਸੋਹਣੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਰੋਲਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਦਿਲ ਪਰਚਾਉਣ ਦਾ. ਅੱਜਕੱਲ ਤੇ 17 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਕੰਪਿਊਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਸੌਫਟਵੇਅਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ, ਉੱਥੇ ਲੂਪਸ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ, ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਹੈ. ਬੜਾ ਸਕਾਲਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ. ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਡਸ ਔਰ ਉਹ ਹਥਿਆਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਜੋ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਸ ਨਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਚੱਲਣਾ. ਪਰਸਨਲੀ ਮੈਂ ਵਾਇਲੈਂਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਪਸੰਦ ਕਰਦਾ. ਸਿੱਧੀ ਗੱਲ. ਕੋਈ ਸਿਰਾ ਫੈਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸੋ. ਥੋੜੀ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਗੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗਾ.
ਖਾਸ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ
ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਰੰਟ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੀ ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਣੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਨੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਡਾਕਾ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ।
Vincent, I just want to clarify one thing that we talked about DACA, all right, before we went. DACA, these are for kids. It's not for illegal immigrants that is currently coming across the border. These are the kids that have been born and brought up in the U.S. and they came here years ago, and their parents brought them in. Right? They only know English, and they only know our culture. They don't know anything about what's happening outside. So if we have to send them back, then it's going to be a trouble, right? Because they don't understand anything else. So it is fair enough to take care of these kids. So I just want to clarify that particular point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, we cannot send them back. I am also on that side of the equation. We cannot send them back. But at the same time, we have to have enough precautions, enough measures to avoid this from happening in the future, or avoid this from happening on a continuous basis. And that is where the border wall is coming in play. So we have to have some kind of restrictions so that these kids cannot be brought in again from Mexico. Whoever came, we have to take care of them. I agree.
Yeah, but you agree with the wall?
No, I don't completely agree with the wall, right? Wall is just a wall. So if you look at the U.S. immigration and number of illegal immigrant aliens here in the country, you will see that there is a significant number of people, like around 4 to 6 million people, came here on a visa, and they overstayed the visa. They didn't come across the border. So if you dedicate all your efforts towards securing the border and building a wall, and most of these places you may not even be able to build a wall. And as long as there are ladders and tunnels that can be built, this is a failed policy.
But wall is an easy barrier for even kids to cross the street. Like I said before, women, they're all pouring in because it's easy to just walk in. So that wall bring a barrier to those type of migrants.
Let me you guys ask, how about the chain immigration and the other immigration reforms?
So immigration reform has to be looked at as a whole, right? You cannot just stop one kind of immigration, and what Trump is proposing is to have a merit-based system. There are advantages of a merit-based system, like Canada is doing, but you cannot completely do away with chain migration, because if you are coming to this country, obviously you don't just want to be here alone, right? You want your near and dear ones to be part of it. You are trying to replicate. If you are like you, Vincent, you came over to this country, built a successful business, and now you probably want to bring your close relatives so that you can sustain the same culture that you had, right? And share the success and the wealth that you have made.
I agree. I mean, we have other ways of bringing people other than chain migration. Right now, it is taking about 15 years to get your brother or sister to come here. I have actually filed for a brother and a sister, and I am waiting. But when these people are ready to come here, by the time they are retired in India, why? America is a place where all the retired people can go and retire. See, you know that, they are not able to come right away when you file for these people. It takes 15 years, 20 years. Correct. All these parents who come here, they are not productive members of the society. If you really wanted to stay with your culture, your fathers, your mothers and everything, why do you come to begin with?
So here is the response to that, right? If you go by a merit-based system, right? Incentive for people. Let's say you and I came to this country, and when our parents get old, or if we are not able to bring them, either you have to go back, and what you are doing is that all the wealth that you have accumulated in this country, you're going to take it back out of this. And this was a problem. If you look at the Immigration Act of 1924, this was the problem. The Italians came over here, and they started, when they couldn't settle over here, so they had to take they were taking the wealth back out of the country because of the Immigration Act of 1924. And that is why in 1952 they fixed it more of a merit-based system. Right? You have to be, you can bring it from all over the world, not just from our
We have the merit-based aspect of it to continue. He's talking about giving easy green cards to the people who have master's degree from the universities here, which is a very good thing.
Vincent ji, the thing is that ये बहुत बड़ी बात है, नो डाउट के इमिग्रेशन पॉलिसी ये तो आने दिनों में कैपिटल पे बातें चल रही हैं. सबसे बड़ी बात मेरे जहन में ये आ रही थी कि जो अब कैपिटल पे शटडाउन हुआ, उसके बाद अभी 8 फरवरी को दोबारा आना है, उनके जो इश्यूज हैं वो डिस्कस हो रहे हैं. ऑलरेडी टैक्स पेयर पेड ह्यूज अमाउंट इन 3 दिन के शट अप डाउन गवर्नमेंट के। अगर हम इस बात को यहाँ छोड़ें, साउथ एशिया में चलें, इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान के रिलेशन पे कई चीज़ें जो ट्वीट किए वेरी फर्स्ट डे ऑन द 1st of January, Trump tweeted to the Pakistan. That was a direct tweet attack.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what do you think?
Even before that, even before this January 1st, if you think about it, the day I started supporting Trump, this is one of the major reasons. He is a very transparent, a very innocent guy. Anybody who watch the Indo-Pakistani situation, you can easily say that the truth is on the Indian side. Basically, Pakistanis tell, okay, they will do this, they will do that, but they will do the exact opposite of it. And we have been trying to tell the Washington DC people that this is what is going on for years and years. But President Trump understood it. He has common sense. Yeah. He immediately acted. Everything that he did between India and Pakistan, he was supportive of India. Yeah, very, very much. And that is one of the reasons why we should support him as Indian Americans.
Yeah, Vincent, I would slightly disagree with what you're trying to say, right? It didn't start with Trump, right? The realignment of strategic relationship started with Obama and even from the Bush standpoint, right? So from that time onwards, because India was emerging and India was becoming a major player in the global field. So from that standpoint, it became strategically important for US to realign with India. I agree with the statements that you made about Pakistan. It's not a reliable partner of India, partner of America. But they didn't start with Trump.
Because you said history, I'm telling you, under President Bush, Indo-American relations became one of the best in the modern history. And under the first 4 years of Obama, it suffered because Kerry was not really warm to India, because he was more warm to Pakistan, because the Pakistani friend was directing his foreign policy. And under Hillary Clinton, again, money was at play. Whoever is giving more money to the Clinton Foundation was getting more attention. It was not a policy. But President Trump said, India is a good country. They are a democracy. They go by the law. I mean, they are ruled by, kind of law and order. So we have to support them from the beginning, from the very beginning. And this unequivocal support came from no president in the history of America, only from President Trump.
Okay. इनका जो क्वेश्चन है, मैं थोड़ा सा इंटरप्ट करूँगा, सॉरी, मूव फॉरवर्ड करते हैं. एज ही सेड के जॉन कैरी ने इसलिए नहीं होने दिया, इंडिया के साथ अच्छे रिलेशन नहीं बनने दी फर्स्ट 4 ईयर ऑफ ओबामा एरा. तो अब देखें, बहुत सारे जो इंडियन हैं वो ट्रंप की एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में है, चाहे वो निकी हेली की बात कर लें, चाहे व्हाइट हाउस में नील पाटिल, राज शाह और सीमा वर्मा और Ajit Pai, those are the key positions Indian holds. So what do you think? ये आपको भी मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि ये अब इस तरह तो नहीं है कि जैसे पहले जॉन कैरी के टाइम पे हो रहा था, जो अब इंडिया का स्ट्रॉन्ग क्लिक है, यो ग्रुप है डोमिनेटिंग इन द वाइट हाउस एंड आउटसाइड, दे आर वर्किंग के जो सिचुएशन उस खास करके पाकिस्तान और इंडिया की बनी हुई है. पाकिस्तान और इंडिया रिलेशंस इज टेंस. दे आर जस्ट सी इन अफगानिस्तान in a very elite hotel they attacked, but at the same time Sarah Sanders in the press briefing in White House, she stated same to the Pakistan attack was in Afghanistan. So what do you think, how the situation will be?
Yeah, so let me correct the statement that all the Indians are being part of this administration. It didn't start with Trump alone, right? There were significant, even the CIO, Anish Chopra, while Obama's era, was an Indian guy. There were Indians in prominent roles in Obama's administration, and it started with Bush administration too. That's where the Indians have started emerging. And in fact, Bobby Jindal was one of the prominent guys right after Bush, right?
Bobby Jindal primarily won on his own. But if you look at now, Nikki Haley, the role that she is playing, and people are saying she may be going to be the first women president of the country, what Hillary dreamed of. She is doing extremely well, and Trump was able to support her, in spite of her being a critic of Trump. Trump was able to support her. Look at his, his vision. And in UN, you have to understand that. So he has decided that in the Indo-Pak situation, India is on the right side of things, and I have to support India whatever way possible. And he's speaking of Nikki Haley, definitely had some kind of a thought in that also. Now look at her profile so far. I mean, she's doing extremely well. supporting Indian cause everywhere.
Yeah, I do agree to some extent to that. But if the relationship with India, it was a strategic partner from Obama era. It was really needed for US to be partnering with India for market reasons as well as for strategic reasons. Now, where we are, the country is not focusing enough is the China side of things, right? Because I feel that when America stands down, that space is going to be taken up by China. And that is what's happening. And when we withdrew from the TPP, the Chinese have gone behind and they are negotiating deals directly with these Asian countries, which is going to be influencing India badly in the coming days.
Let me just say something about this. The TPP. Basically, all these countries who come and sign agreements with India, with America. If they are going by the same way America goes, okay, we sign an agreement, we keep it, we do that. We are okay, we can keep on signing agreement. But that's not what happens. China signs agreement, but they don't do it. Pakistan signs agreement, but they don't do it. So that is why Trump is too smart to understand that we cannot go by this. Because we are a country, we follow rules. If we agree something, we sign something, we do it. Yeah. So we cannot get into agreements with these countries where they don't do it.
So if somebody does not follow an agreement, right, the solution is not to just walk off. I think America has enough brain power to write smart contracts and smart agreements which can take care of those situations.
Understand. Smart contracts is definitely, I'm not saying about smart contracts, but at the same time, there is an aspect of culture here. Okay, you sign contract with the clear understanding that you're not going to follow it. That is China. Whereas America, culturally, we believe that if you sign an agreement, we have to follow it. How we can remove the corruption, how we can clean up the system and still make sure that the businesses here are not suffering. So that is what is going on here. But for people to rise up to the occasion, people to awaken, somebody has to make some noise. That's what President is doing. So now people will look at it and people will come to the conclusion that, okay, we cannot avoid H1. We need these people. But they will do it in such a way that the corruptions and the problems that are associated with the H1 will go away. That's my hope, and that is what I think is going to happen. That's called a disruptive politician like Trump.
Right. But you don't have to choke somebody before you start negotiating with him, right? So you can still negotiate, right? You don't have to cut at the knees and say, okay, let's start negotiating, right? So I think that is the wrong policy. That I would say that. See, even in the case of DACA itself, right? What is happening is that, hey, I don't want to sign the executive order.
ਕਿਹੜੇ ਪਾਰਟਨਰ ਦੀ ਸੁਰੀਲੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਦਾ ਜਾਦੂ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਦਿਲ ਬੇਕਾਬੂ ਤੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਨਾਲ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਜੀ ਭੰਗੜੇ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ ਵਾਇਰਲ ਹੋਏ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਤੇ ਉਮਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਹੈ ਨਿੱਕਾ ਕਲਾਕਾਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਓਨਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਤਿੱਖਾ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਖਾਸ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਚਾਈਲਡ ਆਰਟਿਸਟ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਵਰਮਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼ੂਟਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੈਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਥੋੜੀ ਸ਼ੂਟਿੰਗ ਬੰਦ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ
ਮੰਮੀ ਤੇ ਪਾਪਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕੌਣ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਡਾਂਟਦਾ ਕੌਣ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ
ਡਾਂਟਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ
ਇਹ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਵੇਖਣਾ ਨਾ ਭੁੱਲਣਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦਿਸ ਵੀਕ ਐਸ ਐਤਵਾਰ ਸਵੇਰੇ 11 ਵਜੇ ਓਨਲੀ ਔਨ ਪੀਟੀਸੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ
ਹਰੇਕ ਦਿਲ ਤੇ ਰਾਜ ਕਰਦਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਗੀਤ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਬਾਈ ਅਮਰਜੀਤ
ਬਾਪੂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੋਚ ਲੈ ਪੁੱਤਰਾ ਹਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਪਊਗਾ ਮਹਿੰਗਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਬੇਬੇ ਤੋਂ